I saw Whiplash at the time of its release and was a big champion of it then. Whilst I do still highly admire the picture now, I can't help but feel that its premise is ultimately creatively conservative. Not politically conservative, I don't think so. Maybe I wouldn't care if it were even. But this idea that Whiplash's master-student tension departs from Hollywood or is closer to Cassavetes or Lee than to the more traditionalist Hollywood melodramatists such as Brooks or Ray, not to disdain those figures, or Chazelle or Whiplash, not at all actually. It's a weak premise, so weak that I'm not sure if anyone would seriously claim that. I would like to think not so. Because of Chazelle's follow-up being a celebration of old Hollywood-induced fantasias and superficial money-lined spectacles, a loving homage to expense, excess, and a hierarchy of over-glorified psychological manipulation, I would guess that Chazelle is rather fond of this pathos, the old Hollywood or post-New Hollywood traditional formalism of sport dramas, emphasized or overemphasized theatrical intensity, industry-friendly screenwriting class script, and a desire to appeal to as many people as possible, no shame about alienating anyone, because it knows that it probably will not. Do not expect a return to early O. Russell, Soderbergh, Araki, or Jarmusch, or even the occasional creativity of those figures as they become more major financed and celebrated directors. Sans O. Russell, maybe. I only really admire 1999's Three Kings anyway, for I'm not interested in jumping on the bandwagon of hating on the guy, though without really defending him at all either. Instead, watch what is effectively more independently produced, as in hundreds of thousands of dollars instead of hundreds of millions of dollars, as in that world of independent filmmaking, you know. Efficiently disguise itself as the better kind of Oscar season pick-me peacocking. Highly watchable, abundantly if not revolutionarily filmic, superbly performed, and both waving to film enthusiasts whilst inviting the regular couch-bound audiences who rented and now stream their nightly stories, and mostly unpretentiously, impressively. And no, the film's philosophy of jazz is from someone who looks at jazz from the outside, both in concerning Fletcher's take and in attempting to dismantle Fletcher's take as well. The idea that an anecdote involving Charlie Parker can summarize an entire ethos concerning a musical movement as extensive as jazz is quite simply absurd, and the idea that this represents a jazz establishment, which the film does vaguely imply, is bizarrely hostile and if nothing else a lazy exaggeration, and so the idea that the film is going to posit an alternative to a straw man is so inane. It doesn't understand the tempo of jazz discourse, and so cannot presume to hold a position in the discussion of the music really at all. Still, amazingly, in spite of all this, me playing devil's advocate against it, perhaps just embarrassed by my once slobbering appreciation, or maybe over-appreciation, of it, I am offering these critiques of what is admittedly a very fine movie, Damien Chazelle's Whiplash, released back in 2014 AD.